There we go. I'll find all the buttons one of these days. So professional. So professional. My. Well, welcome. I'm just a floating head right now. There we go. Welcome one and welcome all to the Junk Shop Library channel and to Mental Health Thursdays, where we talk about all manner and variety of mental health topics and further our attempt to, oh, that's right, I made it a crawler, end the stigma. Want to say hello to everybody in the chat. All my friends are here. Fantastic. It's so good to see you all. So many of y'all. I'm not going to take the next 3 minutes to call you all out by name, but I see you and I love you. All right. We've got so many continents represented. I love it. Got to take a moment, though, right at the start to specifically thank my fantastic patrons. In alphabetical order: Atheist Pastor, Aunt Jur, B, Bill, Brainbug, Mark Caesar, Paul Camish, Gary, Ilya Moon, Kim, Linda, The Lone Wanderer, Mama Atheist, Nikki, Rain, Robert, and Senti. Thank you all so very, very much for your contributions, which keep the library on its feet and keep the library improving. You are one and all immensely, immensely appreciated. All righty. Well, on a mental health stream, I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge today's International Day of. I got to throw up a quick content warning for probably about the next 5 minutes or so, because we got to talk about the S word. Yeah. And hello back to Callie. As those of you know who are on Twitter, whether or not you're plugged into the mental health community, you've likely tripped over today's trending hashtag with the orange ribbon. It is World S-Word Awareness Day. It's a topic that touches almost all of us at one time or another in our lives. I don't know. I'm going to post it in the chat, Doc. YouTube rejected your comment. This usually means they think it's spam. Try changing it a bit. Yep, I was afraid of that. I'm trying to raise awareness about a serious mental health issue, but YouTube won't let us talk about it. Thank you, Atheist Donna. Tacking on one other word makes it okay. Okay, well, that's good. That's good. Thank you. Get up here so I don't cut off my own chin there. I'll fix that for you today after the stream, Robert X. Sorry about that. Yeah, who knows why? YouTube works in mysterious ways, y'all. I had a feeling that was going to be the case, even on a day dedicated to the positive awareness and and steering away from in the international mental health community. I had a feeling that that word would probably not fly on YouTube. But who knows? Who knows? I hadn't been, I've been controversial before. But, I've got over 200 subscribers now, thanks in large part to the untiring efforts of my first patron, Paul Camish, to get me over that threshold the last few weeks. Thank you, sir. It's only tea. Yes, the S word is something that touches most of our lives in one way or another. Most of us have lost someone to it, at least within our circle of acquaintance, if not our immediate circle. Some people that loss has touched profoundly and personally, and for some people it's just been right unpleasant. But it is something to be aware of. Yes, Paul. There are tea bags involved. I'm not quite good enough to make it the British way, but it's American tea. There's one approach to the hashtag in particular that I wanted particularly to touch on today while I've got an audience. I've heard of the Are You OK campaign. That's awesome. Because of things like algorithms striking down words deemed controversial by our machine overlords. A lot of times when people are discussing sensitive topics, particularly sensitive mental health topics and topics related to assault, in my experience of Twitter, I mean, sort of an easy workaround is to asterisk out the vowels. And, particularly in content warnings, if you're posting about something that needs a content warning, you put CW : the word with the vowels punched out or something along those lines. Don't do that today. If you're going to talk about the S word, if you're called to that for any one of the myriad reasons any of us might feel it incumbent upon ourselves to speak out about it, go ahead and use the full word somewhere in your post, and preferably in the content warning, because there are folks who will have muted the word on Twitter and on various other social medias, today in particular, because they can't take all the talk about it for whatever reason. And those reasons are many and varied and valid, every one of them. But if you work around the algorithm by bleeping out elements of the word, that also works around the algorithm helping people who have muted the word. So just, the more you know. I don't know. I don't know if it'll work on the hashtag or not. I don't know if you might have to mute the hashtag specifically, or if just muting The S word will mute hashtags that it appears in. I don't know. I've never tried it. I've never muted anything. I've blocked a couple of people, but I hadn't muted anything. Except for one conversation that just got completely out of hand, and that's another kettle of fish. And check in on people. Not necessarily today or today specifically, because hashtag campaigns do lend themselves to some pretty performative bullshit. But I'm trying to make it a practice just to randomly check in on people. And you know the people, the people in your life who would appreciate being checked in on. Just make sure and do that. Touch base with your loved ones. And just generally keep in touch with folks. It means the world when folks check in. It really does. Yeah. Mark Caesar says, make it a habit to check in on vulnerable people. You know it helps. Absolutely. I'm seeing a lot of love and a lot of grief in the chat. I'm not going to pull any of those up on the screen, but I'm seeing them as they go by. And thank you, Dr. Osiris. Screw YouTube. Only block people who are trying to do good. Anyway, all the nasty people get away with it all the time. Exactly. All right. That was now that we've brought the whole stream down right out of the gate. Yeah, and that is true, Robert. More support doesn't necessarily help. It doesn't necessarily hurt, I think, is the approach that I've elected to go with. If I'm wrong about that, I trust most of my circle to let me know if me touching base with them, at least in the way that I do, is the wrong thing to do. Nerdy says, are we going back up now? I hope so. All right. Well, it's going to be hard to recover from that downer, isn't it? Wow, I got caught up in the brain spiral on that. What was the other topic I wanted to touch on? Oh, this is funny. I think it's funny, haha. Yeah, Godless Sellings says, I try to stay positive, so I look at a day like today as a marker to see how far I've come. Excellent. I try to think of it that way as well. I've had much darker times in my past than I have in my present, and I'm very grateful for the people that dragged me through it by the scruff of my neck. Not all of them know who they are, and not all of them would want to, but Oh dear. Wrong knob, Dr. Osiris. Dear. Me. Yeah. Y'all gonna make me bring it back up. That's all right. Sometimes I need a little help. A topic I wanted to touch on because it touched on me this morning is avoidance. I don't know about y'all, but I'm real good at distracting and avoiding. In fact, I'm doing it right. I'm doing it right now, aren't I? Swiveling in my swivel chair. That's got to be annoying as fuck to watch me just boop, 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 boop. And now I'm avoiding by talking about the way in which I am avoiding, talking about avoidance. It's avoidance inception. Godless Granny, I have no idea in what context you mean that. I've heard it in too many to answer the question. Chunk shot makes it weird. But I was in my therapy session this morning, and we were talking about something, and I sort of stalled out and started avoiding what we were talking about. And I kind of wandered off on a little tangent, and then did exactly what I was just that I was picked up by the scruff of the neck. Yes. Yes, exactly. And I did what I just did right now, except over a significantly greater block of time. Talked about something else, and then realized what I was doing, and then talked about realizing that I was talking about, and continued that spiral for a minute until I realized what I was doing. It's something I'm really good at. I don't flatter myself I'm really good at a lot of things, but avoiding, I can do. I can avoid, and I can procrastinate. And I can do both of those like a boss. It's the first time I've ever used that phrase. It didn't feel natural. I think I'll not do that again. You're welcome. And I'm trying to figure out a way to short circuit it. And I was hoping to steer the conversation that way. Talk to me about avoidance. Who else has that as a problem? We've got a ton of folks here in the live chat. I'm sure somebody, we've got a couple of people sticking up their hands. How do you get around that? It's a way of life for me at this point, and it's one I'm trying to break. But I'm not good with change. I don't do it often, and I don't do it by much, and I don't enjoy it. I find something that works for me. I find a format that I like. I find something I'm comfortable with, and I keep on going. Smooth sailing. Robert X says, I never change the subject. How are you doing? Yes, the weather is fine. Exactly. What do you do when you realize you're doing? Either in behavior or in conversation. And that's an honest question. If you're in the chat, talk to me. Talk with me. If you're watching after the fact, let me know in the comments. Let's have a conversation down there, and let's do it quickly and without avoiding it. Godless Sewing says, I write lists and try to stick to it. And then I indulge in my distractions. Lone Wanderer suggests that not avoiding might give me a sense of achievement. And that is very true. But it's kind of like washing the first dish in a full sink of dirty dishes. You know, once you just get started, it'll be over quick. And it's not hard work. But sometimes picking up that first fork is the mental equivalent of doing Olympic level weightlifting. It's hard to get off my butt and do the shit that I need to do. Even when the shit that I need to do involves sitting right here on my butt, in the chair, in front of the camera. So I started scheduling everything in advance and for a specific time and telling people about it. So then I'm committed. Donna says she avoids until things smack her in the face. Yep. One of those things like you put off weed in the garden until the weeds start to choke out everything else, and you have to get a hand spade, trowel to get all the roots. Yep, I do that. Doodly doodly doo. Kim says, I avoid entire rooms in my house. I've done that. I did that with the study for entirely too long. It was a mess. A mess it was. Then I needed a place to put more fish tanks. So I had to rearrange it. I might have a problem. Mark Caesar says a way to get past avoidance is to write it down as a goal and to make a point of not avoiding one or two things that day. And it can and will grow from there. I like that. I do well with lists. Physical, written lists that you can check off or stroke through. I don't do good with mental lists because they either grow dramatically to include all kinds of irrelevant crap until it's overwhelming, or they shrink out of existence as things sort of flutter off into the ether while I'm not paying attention to them. Never again says, and the kitchen will look good again. Yes, this is true. Lone Wanderer says, buy paper plates. That's one approach. I will not shame nor judge. The trees will. Godless Granny, here to help. Thank you. Journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So very true. So hard to live by sometimes, but so very true. Kim says, because of course, a dirty kitchen represents my complete failure as a human being. I know this feeling. I know it so well. Paul points out the time that I had us waiting on a 2-day stream that said going live in 30 minutes. Was this the one from yesterday when I had to reschedule it at the last minute? Did it really keep up the counter going for the entire 2-day span? I am so sorry. StreamYard. I tell you what, here's where I'm talking about where I should write shit down. I've had that interview scheduled for a month. I forgot about it until the day of. I had the paper trail, had the DM history, everything. I got a DM about it like a week, like 3 hours before it was due to happen, asking something about the thumbnail. And I said, yeah, it looks great. And I thought, yeah, that'll look great tomorrow. I had it in my head it was Wednesday, all day Tuesday. Or thought in my head it was Tuesday, all day Wednesday, rather. Then I realized it was, in fact, Wednesday, and I realized I had double booked myself at 3 Eastern. So I had to go in and change the date on my stream, and it never occurred to me that the page wouldn't reload to reflect that. So that's a long, boring story to explain a long, boring event. Sorry about that. I've got a planner. I just need to start fucking using it. Aunt Jura says, I try to do one major thing a day and only handle one of those. That's pretty much where I am. If I do the laundry, that's me for the day. I'm done. It takes a lot of spoons to do the laundry. And the more so when you have to go into the basement of the building next door to do it. Yeah. Whoops, hang on. How did your study become a mess if nobody was using it? Well, it started out as the room we were unpacking things in when we first moved in. And then, well, you see, it just got worse from there. Yes, as Mark Caesar says, writing things down is sort of making a commitment to myself. It solidifies things in my mind and gives me less chance of ignoring. Yeah. Last week, I wrote out my whole week's schedule on a calendar sheet that I made specific for that purpose. Hand drew it and everything. Put it up there on the fridge, just below eye level, so I'd see it at least once a day. I didn't miss anything. I wasn't late for anything. I didn't forget about anything until the last minute. It was awesome. Did I do that again this week? Manifestly, no. Am I going to need to start doing that for future weeks? Manifestly, yes. How many times can I do this gesture on each side before I start to look like a band director swatting flies? Unless, Never Again says, unless you can do something fun while doing the laundry. That can be the most draining of the time, sitting there waiting on machines to do their thing. Exactly. Yes. I always make sure I'm wearing my headphones or I've got a book or preferably both when I start in on the laundry. Because, oh my gosh, watching that clock tick down 1 minute at a time for 45 minutes, no thank you. It's an easy way to drive yourself bananas. All right. So, Kim says, making lists backfires on her. So many projects when manic, but it turns into depression fodder when I can't be bothered. I understand that too. I've had that happen as well. I found that the key is not to make exhaustive lists. For me, the key is to make like category bullet points. You know, if I make one bullet point, clean the study, then I can take a whack at it and hopefully make enough of a dent to where I can justify to myself that that counted as cleaning up in the study that day. Don't necessarily have to wash every piece of clothing in the house. Just have to do some laundry. And it counts as having done laundry. It's an easy way for me to trick my brain into being convinced of I'm not slacking, which is something that my brain likes to tell me all the time. You're slacking off, junk shop. Almost said my real name. That would not be good. You're slacking off, junk shop. Useless. Useless. Bah. Kim says her to-do lists have footnotes. Yes. Yes, never again. It is good to see everybody here, and we shall get through it together. Edward says he's a master procrastinator. Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. Oh, I don't actually address them. Never again. I don't want them to start talking back. Grumpy old dude, welcome. Says, I'm too busy to worry about slacking off lately. Excellent. Excellent. As long as it's sustainable, that's a terrific place to be at. I don't think I've seen you, Ed, since the Flints arrived. Thank you so much for those, my friend. No more of that disposable crap for us. Plastic birds. Brainbug says, I just let anyone come waltzing up in here. And Brainbug is correct. As long as you play nice, you're welcome here. What did I tell the folks over on Transgarter yesterday? I said, I was talking about the Discord server. I said, everybody's welcome but bigots. And the same rules apply here. So, that's enough about me and my crazy. How about y'all and y'all's crazy? What's unique and fun in y'all's world that you want to bounce off the crew, get some moral support from, get some rainbow-colored hearts moving in the chat? Oh, yeah, never again. At least I don't have to listen to them in reality any longer. Bless their hearts. Bring in the strong language, never again. I'm surprised YouTube let that one through. Hey, Crazy Catnip, good to see you. Yeah, see? Rainbow hearts. Grumpy old dude is really nervous about going on Conspiracy Cats tomorrow. Nice. Somebody grab the link to that stream and drop it in the chat. Everybody go and just drop over there real quick and give it a preemptive like in another tab. It'd be awesome. And then make sure and tune back in when the show is actually live. We support each other in the community. That's part of the fun. Kim says she's having a really bad day over here and could use some support. Everybody send Kim a little love in the chat, if you would. A couple of hearts, a message of support. A new but valued member of the community. New to y'all. We've known each other since God was in short pants. Yes. Yes, Aunt Jur says the quotation marks, rather, around bless their hearts makes it extra sarcastic. Precisely. Bless their hearts. Go to hell. There are some fun things about being in the South. Okay. Tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That'll be a good one. Cats is great, and so is Ed. Here comes the love in the chat. We got your back, Kim. Godless Sewing points out the West Coast being either filled with smoke or on fire. Yes. Yet another reason we'll hopefully culturally abandon the gender reveal parties. Sometimes they set states on fire. Mark Caesar is taking an extended and much deserved. I have picked up on your schedule a little just from seeing when you've been on inside chats and such. My God, man. Must be a nightmare. Driving for Uber can screw with your head sometimes and you need a break. Yeah, especially in these plaguey times, I would just suspect. Richard Madsen, welcome, my friend. Peace and respect. And says, bless your heart with sincerity. Nerdy Rodent announces he's given birth to a fire elemental. I have no idea what that means. You talking about your newest video? I haven't clicked over to it yet. Oof. Yeah, and speaking of the West Coast, Easism Works is here. Can smell the world burning on my way home. Too much smoke to do anything. Jesus Christ. Stay safe over there. Have mercy. Paul asks, when am I doing my 200 sub celebration stream? That is an excellent question. I had planned on doing it Tuesday night, and then my Tuesday night got away from me, and I forgot. Then I thought about doing it Wednesday night, and my Wednesday day got away from me, and I forgot. I already told everybody on Twitter it was going to be sometime this week, so my times are kind of running out. I'll have to check when I've already got streams streaming and then figure out when around that to stream. But sometime this week, I'll be doing my 200 sub celebration open hangout. I've got a couple of ideas, and I think we're going to have a good time. Let's brainstorm about that real quick. We take a quick side trip away from mental health just for a moment, and I hope y'all will indulge me in that. How anybody got Brainbug's over 200 as well. Fantastic. Yes, exactly. Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Between Friday, Saturday, Sunday, since this is my core cadre here, a day between the three of those that work better for more people than less people, just let me know. I'll keep an eye on the chat, and I'll try to see what the average is. And Grumpy Old Dude's up to 225. All right. Excellent work in such a short amount of time, too. I am impressed. Yeah. A lot of folks having sympathy for a lot of folks in the chat. And I feel you. I have not been having my best week lately as well. And not having my best days scattered in amongst the weeks either. I'm not going to go on at length about my mental health. Y'all know about the anxiety. Y'all know about the depression. And the eating disorder and the history of self-harm and all the other fun stuff that I covered early in the life of the mental health hangouts. We're going to start having guests on soon. I've got one lined up. I've got a couple perspectives, and we're going to steer this in a slightly more organized turn than just having me here ramble and freestyle off of the chat. Richard Madsen suggests the 5th Grundsday of Octembune. Perfect. I had something on the 4th Grundsday of Octembune, but I did not have anything on the 5th Grundsday. Sounds like an excellent plan. Thank you, Ed. I appreciate that. I really do. Mark Caesar asks, how in the hell did he get to 36 subscribers on YouTube? And promptly Amiga Nuts pops into the chat. Mystery solved. Awesome. I don't know. The people who've never made a video and don't ever intend to, one of these days ought to just make one about some completely random topic they know a lot about, and then not post again for months. People like Mark or Tony Designs or somebody like that, who always swore up and down and sideways there would never be any content. Turn on your notifications, because one of these days they're going to surprise us just for the hell of it. Right. Well, we're coming up on that 45-minute mark. We usually try to wrap these round about the 45-minute to an hour mark. So what if there's other stuff weighing on y'all, or that y'all want to celebrate? If y'all want to throw up a balloon and say, I could really use support regarding X, or celebrate with me for the coin that I lost has now been found, let me know. Mark Caesar says, nobody wants to know about RAB drilling in the gold fields. I have no idea what that means, but it sounds like an environmental concern, which means it should concern all of us. Kim says Amiga Nuts is our favorite shill. Yes, the king of the shills. He usurped the throne of King Dave of the shills. Oh, yes. Avoid balloons. Yes, sorry. Those were metaphorical balloons I was sending up. Don't actually buy balloons in real life. They suck for the environment, even if they're only filled with hot air. And if you use them for helium, that eats up precious, endangered helium that we need for medical processes and shit. Angie Dell did a whole video on how much balloons suck a year or so ago. It's fantastic. It's titled something like a very important announcement on her channel. It's, like I said, it's a year ago or so, so it might be hard to find, but it's worth watching. Rotary air blast. I'll have to look that up. Why is it worse than normal goldfield drilling? Rotary air blast. I'm trying to think. Is there backlash? Stuff gets shot up into the air and spread out? Kim says, I want to celebrate all of us being here right now. Yes. Definitely. That offhand comment that Ease made like a month ago in the chat that I completely stole and appropriated. We're here. So we win. It's become the motto of the mental health streams. Celebrate all of us being here right now. Grumpy Old Dude says, celebrate Amber doing better with meds and therapy. Yes, we celebrate that. We like it when such valued and beloved members of the community get better. Whatever that means, whatever that context is, we want us all to get better, don't we? Never again has an offer best not pulled up on the screen or taken up in any way other than direct messages. So I'm just going to say that. Sorry, I'm super behind in the chat. Richard Madsen says, super important. I need your worldview on lesser expensive brands of extra sharp cheddar cheese. And do I have a favorite he should try? Do they have Kroger's where you are? The Kroger store brand of extra sharp cheddar is not bad at all. It's not artisanal, but for a store brand block of cheese, they're extra sharp. Don't buy their medium or their mild because it's like chewing on wet cardboard. But their extra sharp is right tasty. Aunt Jur points out, I'm sorry, you mentioned this earlier and I got caught up in something else and didn't pull it up. That Aunt Jur's got the support phone numbers for multiple mental health and support organizations pinned on the Twitter profile. And we should make sure and share those around. Thank you. It's not worse than any other drilling. It's exploration drilling. Ah, gotcha. We ever going to get over this obsession with gold as a society? It's just a crap metal like all the other crap metals. It's just pretty when you polish it. But so is fucking hematite. So is titanium. I mean, really, look at that. That's titanium. And that shines like a new dime. Be well, Ed. Thanks for stopping in. Love to you and Amber. Yeah, well, that's true. If you're lactose intolerant, you probably want to stay away from any brand of cheese. Godless Sewing says Smart and Final has amazing cheese. I don't know what Smart and Final is, but if you've got a Smart and Final near where you are, apparently it's the place to go for cheese. Kim says, I've definitely never eaten an entire block of cheddar in one sitting. Nope. No, sir. Nope. Nope. Not a block, not a wedge, not a wheel. Never. Oh, yeah, and no, Mark says you're right. Sorry, I was thinking just about in the ornamental sense, but you're right. It does have to be mined for industrial applications. All right. Well, y'all, we are coming up on the top of the hour. I know it's just been me rattling on, but I hope it's felt like a conversation. I've certainly loved watching the conversations go by in the chat, and I've tried to peel into them and peel off from them as I've been able to. I know this was a little less structured than I would usually prefer, but that's one of the reasons why I specifically want to try to move towards having guests on and a more structured framework for these, because I'm starting to feel like this has become Junk Shop's ranting about mental health Thursdays, and that's only got its limited appeal. Oh. Streets paved in gold of heaven, maybe circuits? Richard has some ideas about heaven, as some of y'all know. Amiga Nuts is dropping the lines in the chat. Thank you, my friend. I'm just gonna leave that up there for a second. Who knows? Maybe we'll get lucky and the algorithm will pick that as the thumbnail. Yeah. Thank you all so much for coming. We had a great turnout today. So many lovely people. I'm so glad I've gotten to meet all of you. And I know there were some people who were not able to be here who normally would, particularly Mama Atheist, who is in hospital right now. Posted an absolutely adorable, bemasked and behooded peace sign selfie just before she went in late this morning. So we're all on the proverbial tenterhooks, waiting for her to tweet out something bedruggedly when she gets out. It's gonna be funny. All right. Thank you, Richard. I appreciate that. All right. Well, peace and respect to you all. Bless your hearts, and only in a non-sarcastic way. And as we always say before we head out of here, everybody, take care. Be safe. Stand against hate. And we'll see you again soon. Love y'all.